Welcome to part 2 of our Halloween, well, not so much, more autumn, fall, cozy episode. Last episode we talked about Andrew's house decorations. We did some spooky stories, a rapid fire reaction. Well, not so rapid, but it was fall edition. This episode we are jumping in with a this or that round, fall edition of course, and then we're chatting through some tangent-y thoughts, things like plants, space, backward writing, photography, a trip, and some generational buildings. So if you're interested in any of that, and among other things, we kind of jump around. But again, that's who we are. So yeah, let's get into it and have some fun. The next one is a quick this versus this poll. Okay. So this goes along with sort of flavored drinks, but also pies, cooking, other flavors. Pumpkin versus apple.
Pumpkin.
Really?
Well, this is our fall episode, so I mean, I'm going pumpkin for
yeah,
fall.
But apple is also very fall. Apple is in
yeah,
season.
but I can enjoy an apple for the rest of the year.
Really?
I mean,
when do you have apple pie?
I wouldn't be shocked to find an apple pie in like the summer, but I would be pretty like, what the hell if I got a pumpkin pie in the summer?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, but I only see apple flavored drinks during the fall.
Yeah, true.
Apple crisp drinks. So, all right. Well, okay. So I was leaning towards apple, but now that you say that, I do love a pumpkin pie over an apple pie. So
yeah, and to be fair, pumpkin spice isn't really pumpkin flavored.
It's true.
The pumpkin pie spice.
That's true. You know, I've been searching for a good pumpkin sweet treat. And unfortunately, just like the candy corn situation, you can't just buy one thing and try it. It always comes in like a box of a bunch of them, or like, you know, whatever. Or like a bag. Anyways, I've bought like 3 or 4 things now, and I hate every single one of them. I cannot find a good pumpkin treat. So if anybody has a recommendation for a good pumpkin, I might just have to make something. But every time I make something pumpkin related, it never turns out right either. I don't know. I can't get the pumpkin right, but I know it's out there.
I feel like a baked good would be best, like a tart or something.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Pumpkin patch versus apple orchard. And I guess I already know what you're going to pick.
Are we going for... We're still in fall. So, yeah, pumpkin patch.
Okay, pumpkin patch. I'm going to go
I mean, apple orchard, I got to admit, is pretty cool year-round. Mm-hmm. But, again, I can have it anytime.
I don't know. Can you? Are apples in season year-round? I think you're misinformed.
You probably wouldn't be picking them in the spring or whatever.
But are apples?
I can go to an apple orchard and hang out.
Okay. I mean, I'm just going to check. Apple orchards are typically only open for apple picking from late August to mid-November.
Yeah, that's pretty fall time.
I'm just saying. But they can last from July through the end of October.
I'm switching. I'm going apple.
Really?
It's funner to pick apples. Like you just picking a pumpkin is just picking it up, really.
Well, you can really only get one pumpkin. I mean, some people get a bunch of pumpkins, but they're so expensive. Like, just get one. What are you going to do with a bunch? I don't know.
I feel like getting a little basket and skipping around an apple orchard would just be delightful.
Yeah, and you can climb the trees, pull the apples. You can get as many as you want. You can eat them all year round. You can bake with them. You can do all kinds of stuff with apples. But I can definitely see the pumpkin patch seasonal draw.
Yep.
Yeah, I have been to an apple orchard and it was glorious. Moving on, Thanksgiving versus Halloween.
Oh, why are you gonna do this to me? Halloween.
Wow, me too.
Yeah, I mean, the food's really good on Thanksgiving, of course, but I'd like it. I mean, well, if you do. I will say that I've definitely like been to Thanksgivings where they do the very standard Thanksgiving meal, and it's not very exciting. But I feel like if, I feel like everyone kind of like nails their holiday sides. Like for me, I get those like grape jelly and barbecue sauce meatballs that I do. And like those are pretty good. And my wife's family does like some yuca fries and stuff like that. That's like really delicious. So I feel like people kind of corner their thing that is really good and like elevates it beyond just like we're having turkey.
I need to do that. I need to think of a thing that's my thing.
Yeah. So that's what excites it,
I guess.
And
so.
Plus, I really love stuffing. So that's the only time.
Oh my gosh, I look
of the year,
forward
really.
to Mike's mom's stuffing every year. It's the best.
Yeah, it's good. You've shared it with me before.
It is really good. Yeah, and his aunt does these. I don't know if they're sourdough rolls, but they're really good. Whatever they are.
Yeah, but Halloween has Reese's, and you just can't beat that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you can eat Reese's every year, all year, but it's more the.
Yeah, but people aren't going to give it to me for free, although they don't anymore now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I just like.
They're adult trick-or-treaters. I should do that. I should become an adult trick-or-treater. They're kind of weird, but I'd do it. Yeah, I saw one of our neighbors came to and it was a very awkward interaction.
Like, you didn't have any kids with him?
No, it was the couple, and it just was weird because when I first opened the door, all I saw was the guy, and he was just standing in the middle of my yard, fully head to toe dressed in a bear suit.
Okay, that's weird.
And I was just kind of like, hello? And then the wife was like off to the side and she's like, oh, hi. And I was like, oh, hey.
Oh, thank God you had a wife.
She was like, yeah, they were just like trick-or-treating. And I was like, cool, have some candy. And they're like, cool. And then I even think they brought candy and like gave us some.
What?
And then I was like,
it's like
nice.
A candy
like we
exchange.
Did a candy swap, yeah. And then yeah, like they were like, yeah, we're like a couple houses down because I'd never met them before. So I was like, oh, cool. And then like I notice them now when I go on walks.
How funny.
They look a little eccentric, so that's fun.
Okay, well, we need some of that in the world. To an extent. I was thinking about I was going to make like a little bowl with candy and granola bars and like snacks and stuff, and put it outside for the delivery people to come, because like around this time of year, there's always, I just have like more deliveries than normal. And I was thinking like they don't get any to go trick-or-treating or whatever, but they do have to go to people's houses every day. So maybe they could just like get a little treat to go.
Yeah.
Mike was like, they don't want candy, they want a $5 bill. And I was like, I'm not leaving a bunch of $5 bills out there to take one,
They should really devise a machine that will like dole out candy bars like every 30 seconds or something. Like they'll just be a candy bar there and they can take it, and then 30 seconds later it'll drop another one until
so they don't take too much.
Yeah, so you could just leave it out there for like all of October, and just like anybody that walks by, it's like, hey, have a candy bar.
I don't know if I would even take that. I'd be like, oh, what is this? It's like the machine just pooped out some candy.
I don't think you could put chocolate in Florida, unfortunately.
Oh, I know. I really want to put chocolate out there, but I don't think it'll last.
You can put it out each night, maybe, if it's cool enough.
Maybe.
It starts to get cool.
But what about the morning, guys?
Yeah, true.
Oh. All right, so the next one is haunted houses or scary movies.
Ooh, haunted house, I think, just because like that's a more novel experience. If I don't think I'd go to a haunted house twice, but if there's a novel haunted house experience, then I'd do that over a movie. Okay. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think I agree. As long as it's not a crazy haunted house, because I don't know. But yeah, you're right.
How do you feel about Halloween Horror Nights?
No. I don't feel good about it.
Reminds you of the corn maze, perhaps?
It does. I never really had a good experience going there. But however, I've watched like live streams recently of it, and I have heard that it's way better than it used to be. So I don't know. There's some curiosity, but honestly, I don't really have any interest in going. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I only been once, I think, and I totally wrecked my back.
Ooh,
there.
How?
So that's a bad experience. Just standing in line. There was a couple of the houses that were like, it was an hour and a half of like standing in line, and you don't think about it, but like normally when you are at theme parks, like you end up sitting down for the rides, at least for like 15 minutes every now and then. You get to sit down for 15 minutes, but these are entirely walking experiences. So you're walking through a horror experience, and then you're standing in line for an hour and a half, and then you're walking through a horror experience, and then you're standing in line for an hour and a half, and you're just on your feet for like a solid like 6 or 7 hours, you know.
Yeah,
you're just like wrecked by the end.
That's true.
So yeah, I totally annihilated my back doing that, so that's a bad experience. But the haunted houses were top tier. Like they were using effects and like crazy stuff and like movie magic tricks that I was just like, dang.
Yeah,
I've
heard that they've really stepped it up. So
yeah, and there's scariest, if you will, and kind of safer areas where you can like grab some food and not worry about somebody jumping out and knocking it out of your hand. You're like, booga booga.
See, that's what I hate. I hate the walking through and like there's scare people all out. I don't like the scare people. That I don't like it. And they target you because you don't like it. So
I think they've done some training on like who to avoid. I think they will avoid people that are like clearly looking like they don't want to participate, or people that have their phones out. I think like,
oh yeah, true.
There's probably been claims where like they're like, you made me drop my phone and you have to pay for it or something like that. So like if you're on your phone, like they won't just jump out at you.
I mean, I've seen videos of people there, so wouldn't they have to have their phone out to take the video?
Yeah, I think it's different like if you're filming rather than like if you're...
Yeah, I get that. I've heard that you can wear something like a button or something, and if they see the button, they won't go near you.
Yeah, makes sense. That could be fun.
Yeah, the craziest, well, not craziest, but like the best haunted house that I ever went to was just this random farm haunted house out near Gainesville. One year, Tim and I went there, like just on a whim. We're like, let's go check out this haunted house, and it was actually really good. And I was like, whoa. It was just some random, and they had this group. I don't even know if they were professional. I mean, nothing there was professional. It was just very backwoods, kind of like, organized type thing. But there was this group.
That's what they made you think.
I know. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like it was meant to feel that way almost. But there was a group of dancers that danced to Thriller in the street right out front of the house. And it was really good. I was like, wow, this is like the best Halloween night I've had in a long time.
Wow. A whole flash mob, huh?
It was kind of like that. But
that's cool.
But I've kind of haven't been back to a haunted house. And at the same time, I've kind of been off scary movies. So I would pick the experience, I think, over the movie. And the next one is tacky costumes versus stylish costumes. So there's like the quirky, like all out wild costumes versus I'm just going to dress like a stylish character from, like Casablanca or something,
Ah, I see. Highbrow. I'm probably going to lean tacky. I think it's a fun holiday. We're not getting too serious here.
Yeah.
But I also really appreciate people who put in like a ton of effort into their get up, and especially like professional cosplayers or something that will do like a full, oh my God, you became that character. That's amazing. Which is super cool. So, I mean, I guess I don't have a lot of like, you don't want to end up in the in-between where it's like, man, you were trying, but you really missed it. So if you're either just get out there and have fun and like do something fun, or like, if you're like a professional cosplayer or on your way to becoming one, that could be fun.
Yeah, I get that. I'm also gonna lean towards tacky because that's kind of what it's all about. It's just letting your freak fly and owning it. So plus there's like so much fun and doing like homemade costumes and
yeah. Like what's in the closet that I can turn into an outfit?
Yeah.
Or like I'm going to just buy some Joann's fabric and cut some eye holes.
I know. But it's so much easier to just buy a costume. So I get that too.
Yeah. Or I'm going to cut a hole for my head in this disco ball and I don't care about seeing.
Yeah. I love looking at costumes though. Like if I go to Disney's Not So Scary Halloween Party or something like that, where it's like people are just all dressed up for Halloween and walking around. Love that. I love watching costumes.
Yeah. I also like people that dress up as a meme or something.
Yeah.
Like whatever was memed about recently.
Yeah. It's really funny. The funnier the better. All right, so Halloween decor versus fall decor. Are you decorating your house with Halloween stuff, like scary, spooky, or are you going just fall decor, pine cones, pumpkins, that kind of thing?
Como no las dos. I feel like why not go Halloween until it's Halloween and then you go fall.
Okay.
A nice little fall wreath, some cornucopias, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Around the November time period. But
so
before that you gotta go hard Halloween. You can't skip Halloween.
Hard Halloween.
Yeah, like tombstones and
gosh.
skulls and spiders and ghosts.
Spooky Halloween.
What about witches?
Oh,
what about Frankenstein's monster? Zombies! Mummies, which are an offshoot of zombies. Speaking of undead, vampires.
Well, I haven't put them up yet, but I have them.
We have some LED spiders in the window. We have our green... So our spiders are purple.
Okay.
And then we have the green downlighting from the eaves. Then we had some tombstones and skulls and pumpkins and stuff strewn about. But we did bring them in for the hurricane and we haven't put them back out. So.
Yeah, the hurricane kind of ruined that, didn't it?
Yeah, I was like, oh, did you just get set up for Halloween? Well, guess what? I'm going to blow it all away.
Yeah. See, this has been an issue that I've heard, like, traveling through the waves, is the fact that there's so many holidays back to back that require seasonal change. So, like, you put up all your Halloween stuff, which is quite a feat, and then you have to take it down and then put up fall decor, and then you take that down and put up Christmas decor. And so, and you never really get time to appreciate it. You're just doing all this work,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's better to do it than not do it. But
well, you don't want it to go by and then be like, oh, did Halloween happen this year? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been the last couple of years, mainly because we don't get anybody coming. But I do walk around the neighborhood, and then I appreciate everybody who's put stuff up, and I think, oh, I should do that next year. And then I don't.
And then you're like, hey, could you come by my place?
Yeah. Well, anyways, I would pick... Well, see, you picked both. But if I had to only pick one, I would pick fall decor just because it's an easier transition. But I do like the Halloween decor for, the spooky vibes. So...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, more than anything else, Halloween decorations are the most fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love going around and looking at other people's Halloween stuff, for sure. But anyways, chocolate candy versus fruity candy.
I'm going to go chocolate, and I know you're going to disagree with me here, as podcast listeners will know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just, I appreciate some nerds, Twizzler now and again. Gummy bears are awesome. But just like nothing beats a Reese's or like a Heath bar, frozen Heath bar, like throwing your candy in the freezer after you get it, like frozen chocolate candy. Yeah, you got to go on. You gotta bite them with your molars.
That would take your dentures right out.
They actually, I feel like when they're warm, they like stick to your teeth more.
That's the worst.
It's like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like when they're warm, they gum up in your teeth.
Oh, I see.
But when they're frozen, they shatter.
And
then you have like all these little like toffee pieces in your mouth, and it's great.
Oh, okay.
Butterfingers. Oh.
And I'm going chocolate candy.
What?
I know. I was thinking
What is this?
I don't know. Something's changing inside of me. I was thinking about this the other day, that I'm actually finding a preference for chocolate versus fruity.
Get out of here. Get out.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, who am I?
Get out of town. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the darkness in your heart that scary movies took up is now replaced by chocolate. Sweet chocolate.
Maybe I needed a little fruity in my life because I was in such a dark place. And now that I'm not, I can appreciate the chocolate.
Now, are you an enjoyer of dark chocolate? Or are you like purely a milk chocolate gal?
I like both. Yeah, no, I like both. But it depends on that. Like,
so, like, if there was a Reese's dark side, and I don't know what they call the dark chocolate one, but or Reese's standard, like, which one would you grab?
I mean, I would pick standard just because it's standard, but I wouldn't hate the dark chocolate.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you gave me another option where it wasn't a normal candy.
Is it a normal candy?
You know, like if it was...
Three Musketeers.
No, like not a normal one. Not a well-known candy bar. Not like a Snickers or a, you know...
You still wouldn't buy just a chocolate bar, right?
Like a Hershey's bar?
Yeah.
No, that's out.
Like
a straight chocolate bar is disgusting. That still will forever be disgusting. Don't do that.
Never say never.
Don't ever even get those plain M&Ms. Okay? You have to have a peanut M&M or what else? Almond M&M.
I would say try a symphony bar. If you don't like it, give it to Mike.
What is a symphony bar? Is it all chocolate?
It's like it's a purely chocolate bar. Get one without nuts. Like, I don't like nuts. Yes. No, you can do whatever you want. But it is I feel like it's a creamier milk chocolate bar. Like, it's like, I don't know how they normally make milk chocolate, but I feel like they mess with the recipe. It's like something different. It's like a little creamier, and yeah, I mean,
milder, creamier milk chocolate that was popular in Europe. That's so interesting, because I was about to say, I follow a lot of British people, and they always say when they come to America, the chocolate here is gross.
Yeah, they say it tastes like vomit.
So maybe I would like this. I don't know.
And then I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing about chocolate that even tastes remotely like vomit to me. But then again, you know, I grew up with our chocolate.
Exactly, yeah. I think if you had their chocolate, you might be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's worth a try. But at the same time, do I really want to get into a chocolate bar?
Get into it. Ooh, no, you know what you need to try?
What?
Terry's. You must have had.
Oh, like an orange
Terry's
chocolate
orange?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chocolate orange is fine.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
I wait all year for them. That's the best part about Christmas.
Let's hold on. Don't go too far.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Sorry, beep that out.
Beep. All right, let's move on. Oh, so speaking of candy, do you prefer candy versus other? Meaning like nuts, popcorn, carrot sticks.
Carrot sticks.
Like, you know, sometimes when you go trick-or-treating,
oh my God.
They're like, oh, we're not going to do candy anymore. We're going to do something else, like cookies.
That disgusts me.
Okay.
Well, cookies could be good. Like, baked goods are the only thing that's a good substitute. Sure. I mean, I'm taking candy from a stranger. They could have put anything in it.
It's pre-wrapped.
I mean, yeah, except for the needle that they shoved in it. I'm not scouring the surface of it to be like, oh, is there a puncture mark on this?
Okay, fair enough.
If somebody wanted to mess with the candy, they could do it.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to skip the next one because I just yelled at you about going forward to winter.
Okay.
But it was basically, do you prefer fire in the fall or fire in the winter? You know, but like...
Fire whenever it's cold.
Okay, fair enough. Cranberry canned or cranberries homemade?
It needs to shaloop out of the can.
Yeah, I agree.
It needs to, like, you gotta pinch the sides, and it goes. That's the cranberry you need.
That was perfect. Wow, yes, I agree, 100%. Okay, next one: fall feels movie versus a horror psychological thriller. So, are we doing You've Got Mail, or are we doing Scream?
Ooh, it depends on what you're going for, but like if somebody was like, you can't, if we like flip this question around, they're like, you can't watch one of these types of movies this fall. Geez, I'd probably want to make sure that I can do scary movies. Yeah.
Okay.
That was hard because I was gonna go for scary movies instantly, but then I was like, I actually do watch a lot of fall vibe movies though. Like just like I almost don't even think about it. Like it's like background noise, but the main feature is going to be a scary movie. Like when I'm like, it's
okay.
Halloween time, I'm watching, Alien or something. But I don't. That was a weird pick because that's not very fall, but
Okay.
It's Halloween, if you will.
Okay.
That's the most fall.
Sure. I see your.
But yeah,
I see your rationale.
I feel like Harry Potter and stuff. I'm always watching that, and that's got tons of fall vibes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going fall feels movie just because I feel like that would put me more in the mood for the season. But I can get around your main feature being, like, if you were picking it as a main feature, that maybe you would go horror or psychological thriller. I would personally choose psychological thriller over horror if we're even going that deep. But,
What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford?
What Lies Beneath? Wait, doesn't that have Michelle Pfeiffer? Oh, no, that's Lady in the Lake or something like that. Never mind.
No, but it is a lake. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah.
She's in the one with Harrison Ford?
The What Lies Beneath.
Oh, see? Oh.
And it does have a lake. You're probably thinking the same one.
Okay. There we go. But I'm picking whatever. Fall feels. Cozy night in versus crisp evening walks out.
Ooh. It's hard to beat crisp. Like, in Florida, we get crisp so infrequently. You got to go out for the crispiness.
Yeah.
Like, if it's crispy, you're like, hold the phone. I'm going outside.
Absolutely. I agree. Turkey versus ham.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, it's hard because, like, ham, I eat ham year round, so it's tough to be like, yeah, that's the fall thing, but it is better. It's like with the cinnamon sugar crust thing or the brown sugar crust thing they do. Man,
okay,
it's the best.
I mean,
Can't beat
maybe, but I think ham is filthy year round.
Filthy.
I hate ham.
Get your filthy meat out of here.
Get your filthy meat out of here. Put it back in your little pork and put it back on the farm.
Do you not like bacon?
No, I don't like pork, ham, bacon. I don't know why. I just never have.
What about pulled pork?
I can do a pulled pork. Okay, so.
Okay.
I guess they're good for something. And I lied about the bacon. I don't like bacon. I wouldn't choose it like normally, but I do like really crispy bacon. So.
Wow, you must have been messed up when everything was bacon flavored.
Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. So I'm going turkey, but I'm also not a huge turkey fan on Thanksgiving. I like turkey sandwiches very much.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do eat turkey year round too. I just realized I said that. Like, I don't eat turkey year round, but I don't know. Turkey feels like it's in a very different form as like a cold cut.
Yeah.
Whereas like rather than a whole bird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
that's the difference.
I'm throwing in a new one just because it's here. If you had turkey, do you like light meat or dark meat?
I'd probably go light meat, honestly.
Me too.
The thing is, it's really hard to do turkey right, and I feel like a lot of the time, like, it's dry, and so you kind of have to go dark meat just so that you get a little moisture.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you do a turkey really well and it's really moist, I would prefer the white meat.
Yeah. Okay. Same. Hayride around the farm or a nature hike through the woods. Let's pretend it's fall woods.
Yeah, and not like Florida woods.
Yeah, we're going fall here, so
We're in Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going through the woods.
Yeah. Same. A hayride sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's always kind of kitschy. You're always
Yeah.
just kind of like, well, come on, kids, get in the trailer, get in the tractor.
Yeah, that's the
You're
thing
just
is
kinda
like,
wow, I'm going in a circle around the farm.
it's usually with the tractor. I could see maybe doing it with like horses or donkeys or something. That might be cute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like this was probably more of a spectacular event, like in the early 1900s and before.
Agreed.
Ever since then, it's just been a tradition.
Okay, we've got two more. Halloween light crawl versus a fall festival. So like going out
Light crawl?
meaning like you drive around and look at Halloween decorations and lights
I see.
versus going to a fall festival.
A fall festival would be good. Like they're probably gonna have punch. yeah, apple cider. Oh, like a hot toddy or something like
An
that.
apple
That'd be
cider
good.
and apple cider donuts.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Oh yeah, back to Vermont.
Yeah,
Excellent.
let's go there.
And then probably like a cutout of like your face on a farmer's body.
Yes.
Or a scarecrow.
A must.
And then
Some
yeah,
sunflowers.
some hay seats, like hay bale seats.
Oh, some.
There might be some animals. They might have a petting
Oh,
zoo.
they definitely will.
Yeah, like a little. Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
cute. All right,
I'd do that.
I agree. Okay, would you have a fall picnic or s'mores by a fire?
Are we assuming Vermont again?
I guess so.
Um,
In my head, it was.
we're not very fall equipped here.
I know.
If it's a nice crispy time wherever it is, I guess in Florida as well.
Yeah.
I'd go with the fire.
All right.
That's just so cozy and awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide.
I feel like I really wish you took longer.
I think I would have a fall picnic because s'mores are a bit overrated, even though I love s'mores.
You're the one who goes out of their way for the s'mores specialty flavors.
I do love a specialty s'mores flavor, but the s'mores themselves are not my favorite. And also, I do love a fire though, but again, like I keep thinking Florida, and I also keep thinking I get to go sit by a fire in the summer, so I don't know. A fall picnic just feels right.
Interesting.
But that's the only one we really disagreed with. Well, we disagreed with a lot, but we won't tell anyone else.
Have you had a s'mores with a Reese's?
I feel like I have because that was like a thing for a while. People were adding.
You know what I saw
candy
on Instagram that was bananas, absolute bananas,
Was it
but didn't have bananas.
Oh, okay.
No.
What?
They like took a Reese's and a graham cracker and then they covered it in marshmallow like jet puff. And then they speared that and roasted that. So it had like a toasty marshmallow outside.
That does sound
And then
good.
you eat through it and it holds together like the messy, crumbly graham cracker and squishy insides.
That sounds nice. I do need to figure out a way to do s'mores without chocolate. Because my favorite part of the s'more is
This is why you don't like s'mores.
I think so. Because I like the graham cracker and I like the marshmallow, obviously. I could just do the marshmallow without the graham cracker, but the graham cracker is great. The problem with the graham cracker and the marshmallow together is it's just too dry. There needs to be something liquidy, but good. And
That's the liquid chocolate
I know, but
that's inside.
the chocolate just ruins it for me. So I need to figure something else out. If anybody has some suggestions, some alternative chocolate ingredient that's not chocolate, let me know. That would also taste good with marshmallows and graham crackers. I love my favorite s'mores item is s'mores ice cream. And I think that's because there's like a lot of vanilla in there because the ice cream itself is more vanilla-y. And then it just has the graham cracker and the marshmallow. And it has
Double
like
vanilla.
just a little bit of swirls of chocolate. So it's not overwhelming. I don't know. That's so good.
There's a drink at one of the They do like at the Foxtails. It's a local coffee chain. They do some of the like specialty drinks. Like essentially, they have specialty drinks per location. Like they have them like written on a sign that you can order. That's like special to that location, I guess. Like barista's choice kind of thing. And one of them has one called an Eddie's Way, and I don't know if that's a standard drink or if the guy working there is named Eddie or what. But whatever they do, when they top that, they have like a foam on top. It's like the cold foam.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this one tastes like exactly like I'm drinking a marshmallow.
Wow.
It's pretty
That
good.
does sound
And it's like kind of a
good.
cinnamony drink.
Ooh,
So
yum.
yeah, it's pretty delicious. If you're into coffee at all, I would give that one a go.
Yeah, you guys.
But you have to go to that specific Foxtail.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
When like places have their own specialties. I mean, it's nice. It is for the local.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, my local one has this. Your local one has that.
Yeah. But it is kind of annoying when like you love, like let's say you're traveling and you love it. You love it so much, but you can never have it again.
Well, if you like write it down, you can probably get them to make it, but it'll be a fight every time.
Yeah, that's true.
You're like, here is a recipe. Can you go make this for me?
What else is going on? Oh, I did go on our fall trip, like a road trip that we go on every year.
The classic road trip.
The classic road trip that you're always invited to, but never gone.
Putting me on blast on the podcast?
No, I know, but we all understand. You have your own things going on. But, so it was...
More important things.
Yeah, obviously. So we went it was like from North Dakota all the way over to Michigan, and we did Wisconsin and all of that. So it was fun. Not much more to say.
Was it fall?
There was a lot of, it was like the beginnings of fall.
Oh, nice.
And we got, some colors in the trees, and there was little towns that were decorated for fall, which was really cute.
That sounds cute.
Yeah.
Would you say it was like a lot of driving, or was it pretty...
We did stop. Well, we stopped like enough that we got to enjoy every place, but there was definitely a lot of driving, but I didn't think I don't think that that's the thing that stood out the most. So
good.
Yeah. So we did we went from North Dakota all the way, so we did North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and then back to, where did we go? I think we flew out of Illinois. So we went back. Oh, we went to Chicago. Yeah. So we went back to Illinois. Yeah. To fly back home. So, I mean, that's a pretty long distance. So obviously driving is all part of the process, but we got to spend time in every place and took in the sights, took in the sounds,
Nice.
all the things. Yeah. I got to see Mount Rushmore for the first time, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've never been there.
Yeah, that was another thing that felt fake. Even in person, it feels like it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of isn't, but it is.
I'm not sure I follow, but yeah.
Well, it was not natural formation.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Somebody actually did chisel it into a mountain, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. And it's weird because it doesn't look that weathered. I mean, I'm sure they restore it and keep up with it and make it nice.
Yeah, I wonder how they do that.
I don't know, but...
They have a professional stone sculptor out there,
probably.
Who has that job?
But we also went to see
Ronald Marion.
Crazy Horse.
Oh, nice. Was it crazy?
It was crazy, but it's basically, I don't know if you know, but it's basically a same kind of monument, but it's for the Indian heritage and yeah. So
it's awesome.
What's cool about it too is that you kind of get to experience what the people experienced when Mount Rushmore was being built, because it's not finished yet. And so it's still in the process of being constructed and chiseled and everything. So you kind of get to see the process and in real time.
Oh, man.
But I don't even know if it'll be done by the time, like in my lifetime. So.
Can you imagine working on a project like that?
No.
It's like, I'm going to start chiseling on this thing, and I hope my grandkids get to
yeah, it. No way. I mean, I think Caleb will be an adult when it's like far, like an elderly man when it's done.
Wow.
He might get to see it finished. I don't know. But
that's pretty intense.
It takes so long for multiple reasons, like funding and just the chiseling, all that.
Yeah. I mean, to think that like a lot of projects that, you know, a lot of things that we marvel at today took previous generations, like multiple generations to complete, like cathedrals and stuff. That
the pyramids.
You know,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, the entire like civilization had to work on it for like a couple generations, which is wild. It's like when that project finishes, it's like, what do you mean we're done working on this cathedral? Like my grandfather was a stonemason and he built the beams of this place, and that's what my father apprenticed to do, and that's what I apprenticed to do. What do you mean we're done building it?
I know. And like, what if someone in your family says, you know, I don't want to finish this.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm getting all the getting's good.
Yeah, this is not my thing. I don't want to be a doctor. But what's interesting about Crazy Horse, though, is that it doesn't get any U.S. funding. So it's all based off of outside funding. And so that's another reason why it might take a long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're kind of reliant on, you know, other people. But it started in 1948.
You know, it didn't work out well for the I-4 eyesore.
No.
That's a little local joke for the Orlandoans out there.
True. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the major highlight, but it was a highlight of the trip. So I really want to get plants to put inside the house, but I'm worried about doing that because is it true that live plants inside attract bugs?
They actually slowly poison you.
Do they really?
No.
Oh gosh, could you imagine?
They say that you get fresher air, right? Because they produce oxygen for you. But it's like such a minuscule amount of oxygen, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I think that comes from if people bring plants from outside.
Yeah. Which
most people, that's where they're grown at some point. So if you get them from an unknown source and, you know, they're outside at any point, then they could have bugs. But, I mean, I think a lot of the ones that you get at Home Depot and stuff would probably be fine. Yeah, but I don't know. Hard to say.
So. I think, like, I've heard also that they help filter the air. So
yeah. We do have one in the bathroom that I don't think has ever been outside. And I don't know if they moved in after the fact or from that plant, but I always see a string of like those really, really tiny ants like going to and from it. And I'm like, where'd those come from?
Yeah, I have those in my kitchen anyway, so.
So, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, maybe they need a place to live. I'll bring a plant in here for them. We get lizards in the house all the time because our back door.
Oh.
And so I was thinking like, oh, are they going to like live in our plants? But whatever. It's fine.
You'll feed them. I saw a really interesting video recently that was like a guy locked himself in a sealed room, essentially, with like plastic and everything. So, you know, he'd suffocate or whatever. But the idea literally was to like up the CO2 level as much as possible. So essentially he's getting no new oxygen in there naturally, or just by, you know, exchanging with the outside air. But his idea was that he put algae in there. So he got this algae that NASA has been researching with to try and see if they can like create oxygen on the space station, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they have this like, they essentially want to use it to like recycle carbon monoxide into, or carbon dioxide. That's when you breathe out. Yeah. Carbon dioxide. And then, essentially like filter it with this algae. And so he was like, wait a minute, can I do this? So he's trying to he grew a bunch of this algae and like tubs, and he just like put it in there and got in with it, and then got a CO2 meter, and then like waited to see what would happen, like if it would go up or if it would eventually stabilize, and he could just stay in there forever and have that stuff like produce some oxygen, which I just found like really fascinating.
Was it at work?
He got results. He I don't know. Skip the next 10 seconds if you don't want the video spoiled for you. But yeah, basically he did it, but he had to go way further than they did. Like basically create a lot more algae, like as in several giant barrels full, and then also pump his air through the barrels so that they would get as much surface area on the algae as possible, like actually like force air into the water. And then he was able to get a decent amount of time in there with no outside oxygen. I think it was like a couple, like 3 hours without gaining any more oxygen.
Wow, that's risky. I guess he probably had a backup plan though, just in case.
Yeah, well, yeah, he could just leave at any time. He had like a cutoff point where he was like, oh yeah, if it gets over this amount, I'm gonna pull the plug. I'm just gonna like open the door and get fresh air. But yeah, it was pretty cool. He did like a control section to like how long it would take him to get to the like that level of CO2 before he would call it quits. Then he like tested it against his various algae and amounts of time in the algae. He also, I think, switched breeds of algae at one point to one that he thought would be better. So I mean, I think I find that stuff like super interesting. If you ever like, because it kind of would be cool to like if you learned that like, hey, yeah, this type of algae, like it really will like create fresh air for you. It'd be kind of awesome to be able to just like get that in a tank or something at your house, and then like just like pump air through it so that you would always be getting fresh, pure oxygen all the time, and not have to worry about like pollutants or whatever.
For sure. Especially if you get into a situation like an apocalypse or something. You're like,
yeah, exactly.
Store.
I don't know. My house definitely isn't airtight, so if the air is toxic, I don't think I'd live very long. But it'd be cool to have that as an option, I guess. Like maybe get a mask or something and plug it directly into that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be just like a good product. I think there's already products like that out there that are like, oh, this like gives you fresh, clean oxygen, and it's like I don't know, some snake oil stuff. But if you can actually do that, that'd be pretty sick. I thought it was a cool video.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, speaking of space, did you see the successful catch with the chopsticks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I saw somebody that it was like a post on Reddit that was like, I rented a 17K lens for this. And it was like they got this super ultra telephoto lens to like shoot that whole sequence, and they even did like a composite shot at the end of all of the stages. And he was able to like zoom like way in, you know. It was really cool.
Wow, yeah, that is cool.
Technology.
Yeah.
Soon enough, we'll just be able to buy a ticket to Mars.
Yeah, soon enough.
Soon enough.
One of these days. I don't know if I would go.
I'm gonna start packing.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
I think I'm gonna need that algae.
Yeah. Bring some in your back pocket just in case.
Just in case.
You never know.
That wasn't very fall. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, it's just supposed to be like a mix, so it doesn't matter. There's no rules.
Okay. Well, in that case, I've been writing my notes backwards.
What the heck?
And it's way better.
What do you mean?
Okay. So how do you write your notes? Like if you're writing a note about a topic or something, like what do you do? And then like you add to it over time and stuff like that.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what
You're
you
like,
mean.
I'm not following.
I'm not following. Yeah.
So,
okay, like a note about what? Like a note, like go to the grocery store and buy this? Or do you mean...
Sure. I mean, yeah, like anything... Yeah, that's a good example. Like if you're making a list for groceries or something, like what do you do?
Oh, I would just start writing top things that I think I need.
So you would like write a big heading that's like grocery store stuff, and then you make a checklist. I don't know if you use digital note taking, but you make like a checkbox, and then you just hit enter and then type a new line and then hit enter and type a new line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I would probably do that similarly. I'd probably do that like initially. But what I've been doing lately is like, I guess traditionally, kind of what I'm talking about in general, is like you start a note and then, you start adding subheadings and you add bullet points or something or some text or whatever. And then you start adding more and more to the note as you go on. If you ever come back to the note, you like scroll down to the end and then start adding on more stuff. I've been just like adding stuff to the top instead. So like whenever there's the newest stuff is always like at the top of the note. So like whenever I just like hit enter and push everything else down. And even in like the scenario of like a grocery list, I'd probably just like go to the top of the list now and then add in new things like at the top of the list instead of at like appending it to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just like in so many circumstances that I never thought of, it's just like so much more useful. Like I don't know, I always thought like I want it to be like a catalog of my, like a progression almost. Like I want to be able to scroll down and see how things progressed. And I mean, that still exists. I just have, if I want to do it that way, I start from the bottom and go up. Yeah. And in this way, like I'm always at the latest thing as soon as I open the note. So I'm always like, oh yeah, this is what I was working on last. Rather than like, I feel like whenever my notes get a little bit longer and stuff, it's always like, okay, well I got to scroll all the way to the bottom. Sure. Especially if like, because sometimes, and this is another thing that I've struggled with when I'm taking notes, but like versioning. Sometimes I take a note and then I'm like, I want the information of the previous note, like say a recipe. And I'm like, okay, here's a recipe. And then like I'm revising it and I'm trying to make it better. So here's like my idea for the next iteration of this recipe. But I don't want to like delete the old one because I know that's good. And then maybe even if I do this new one and I like it, I might be like, oh, but then, maybe I want to, this one's a little better in this way. The other one was a little better in this way. And so now like I have these two versions and this is like probably the better version, but I kind of don't want to just like delete the old version and then what do I do? Do I make two notes and then I try and like keep them together somehow? No, I'm like, I push the old one down and then I put the new version at the top. Yeah. So it's a lot better. I like it.
Yeah. I actually want to say that I don't want to burst your
Oh no.
What is it called? I don't want to steal your thunder. There you go.
Pop my thunder.
I don't want to hot your thunder or steal it. But yeah, no, I actually do that too a lot. It just depends on what it is. Because if it's just a grocery list, I will just go top down. But if it's stuff for the cabin or for work stuff or reminders or things I want to try or ideas I have, creative things or sometimes recipes, but I will also do that. I will also put it at the top because I'll say, oh, I like sometimes, like, for example, if I'm writing like a blurb for the cabin for like a response to if somebody asks a question, there's like common responses or whatever.
Property management.
Yeah. And I will type it out and then somebody else will ask a question and it's like slightly different. So I'm like, oh, actually, this would probably be a better way to explain that and this. So I'll rearrange the note and make it a little more clearer.
Template versioning. Nice.
Yeah. So I'll put that one at the top because I like it better, but I keep the other one because that one could actually apply to somebody who asks that specific direct question. But I might want to respond with the more detailed question if it's somebody who seems like they, want more information. I don't know, stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of know. I know exactly what you mean. I guess is what I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
What?
I lost my audio. Hang on.
When?
I'm having audio issues tonight.
I was worried about my audio. I had to be worried about yours.
My headphone batteries died.
Can't even hear me.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, hi.
Carry on.
When did it go out?
Just a second ago.
Oh, okay.
They went out, and then I looked around, bewildered. And then I was like, oh, my audio's out.
Okay. I was worried about my audio, I was saying, but I should have been worried about your audio.
Apparently.
Because so far mine's been okay. As long as I don't touch it, I think it's fine.
Just don't touch it.
Just don't touch. Don't move too much.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a lot better system for like keeping track of things, and it kind of solves my whole issue because I use a versioning tool to like keep track of my notes so that I could go back in time and like see what the first character or whatever I ever typed into the note was, and then like see every version of it. But it's just a pain to have to do that, to be like, wait, there was an old version of this recipe, right? Or even if I don't know, like sometimes I go to a really old note and then I'm like, oh, is there like a, like I don't even know to ask the question, like, oh, is there a step before this ever, like, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice just to have that history there. I wonder if there's any like note-taking apps that really lean into that, but
Yeah, I'm so back and forth on note-taking apps. Like, I cannot decide on one that I really like. And so I end up doing just the regular notes on my actual phone, or I'll just write stuff down. But the problem with writing stuff down is then you lose it, and then you're like, where was that note that I wrote? You know? So
you're a poet and don't even know it.
Yeah, I like the idea of writing it by hand, but also having it digitally. And I've tried it on my iPad before, because I have the Apple Pencil.
Nice.
And you can write, you know.
And they do that interpolation thing, right? Where you can like start writing and it can translate that to actual copyable text.
Yes, it does. But I don't know. It's just so foreign to me to do it that way. But, you know, whatever. I try.
Have you seen the Paper-like? Or Papermate? Well, actually, I think Paper-like is a screen protector for the iPad that makes it feel like paper.
Oh, I have that. Yeah, I do have that. And
what is the other one? Papermate is a pen.
Yeah.
There's a tablet that's meant to be like paper. It's like ultra thin. It's e-ink, so it doesn't have a backlight or anything, and even if you turn it off, like it keeps the whatever's on the screen, you know. Mm-hmm. You seen that type of technology? It kind of looks like a newspaper. And then they also have like the matte screen finish, so it kind of looks like paper too, and it has like a pencil that's supposed to really feel like you're writing with a normal like lead pencil, and it's supposed to like really try and mimic the feeling of paper, but then be digital, you know.
Yeah, I do like that concept. I have a Rocket book, which is very similar.
Oh, is that the one where you take pictures of the pages?
Yeah, and it puts it directly into a folder or whatever. And
I love those, and I actually I know that Google, actually I don't know this, I'm pretty sure Google has a feature where they will, any images you have, they can do OCR on them. So it like uses the optical character recognition to like pull the words out of your written page. So you could have some kind of a mixed solution there. I don't know.
Maybe I need to use it more. The problem with it is like I never have it when I need it, you know, kind of thing. Whereas like I always have my phone with me, or I always have paper with me, but I don't always.
The Remarkable. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. I was so excited I found that. God. Go on.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I just don't always have those other. I don't carry like a bunch of stuff with me, so I either have my phone or paper. Those seem to be the two options that are the most convenient when I want to write something down or think of something.
Yeah. So how do you feel about folding phones? I had this conversation earlier.
I actually kind of like the idea, but I feel like they would be more susceptible to damage and wear. But
yeah,
I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, it has like the screen is very easy to be scratched, I've heard. So like the bending one, usually they have like an outside screen, so you can use it like a normal phone, and then they have like a folding inside screen that's like really delicate, but yeah, so you have to be careful when you're like big screen mode.
Okay. Yeah, it's
That's
so funny. Mike and I were watching some really old 80s movie or something. I can't even remember what it was, but it was funny because there was this guy who walked across the street in the scene, and he was talking on a cell phone, and it was like huge, you know?
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny to think that it used to be like that, and within my own lifespan, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for real.
It's so weird.
It is weird, and it's one of the things, like, especially because I feel like that's the prime example, right? Because there's been that pretty much all big tech has been pushing towards like high-tech phones. Like all of the apps and everything have all just revolved around like mobile phones. So it really just like pushes towards making that technology like the best it can possibly be. Yeah. So it's interesting to see what we can get when like everyone's behind it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild to see that. I heard an opinion recently that was like, why? Like why have a folding phone and not just like have a tablet when you need it or have a phone when you need it? But yeah, I find them super interesting. And there was recently a Chinese one. You can't actually buy it in the US, but it was super cool to see. Some tech reviewers did like videos on them, but it was like a tri-fold phone. So it was one long screen, but it folded up, had 2 folds in it. So it had 3 sections.
What? That seems hard to function. I don't know how you would carry that around. I guess it's like it's like a foldable laptop or iPad.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was like a full size iPad, like kind of size screen once it was fully unfolded, and it was kind of like, imagine like a tourist map or something, you know, like when you kind of like pull it open and it unfolds to like, you know, its full length.
Right. Yeah.
It was sort of like that sort of thing. And so like when it was totally folded, you know, the back was your standard back with like a camera on it, and then the front was a third of that folded screen that acted like, you know, essentially in that stage it acted like a regular phone. But then yeah, you can like pull it open and like unfold it all the way and have like a full iPad level experience, and it seemed to work like really well. Like the tech YouTubers that were using it were like, yeah, this like, it honestly like feels really good, and they made it so thin that it's like not even really that thick when it's all folded up.
Wow,
it's wild.
I wonder how glitchy it would be.
Like because
after
it's
a while, you know,
the very first iteration of something like this.
Yeah. Although, you know, the technology's out there. People are working on it. I'm sure they'll perfect it if that's what they want to do. It'll be weird.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of glitches still with other folding phones, like the clamshell kind of folding phones.
Yeah.
That we have that are becoming pretty commonplace these days. So I can't imagine with such a new form factor like that how hard it would be to to keep working.
I was actually looking into the newer iPhones to see, because I'm almost ready for a change because my phone's getting old.
Oh no.
And I was thinking about it because like my battery dies all the time and it's getting kind of just bogged down or something. I don't know what's wrong with it. But anyway, I was looking into it, and a lot of the reviews on the new phones were saying that it was kind of glitchy. And I'm thinking, but it's a like brand new, they've been doing iPhones forever. How could
like they haven't got the kinks worked out by now.
Right. So I don't know. I might hold off until the next one or something. I don't know. Yeah,
I usually hear that Apple's better than most about that, right? Because they have full control over all the hardware and how the apps work and everything.
Right.
So it's interesting. I know that this one is like their Apple Intelligence version, right? So it's they got a lot of new like AI features, which might have been rushed a little. So I wonder if maybe that's part of it.
Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe another reason why that one was interesting to me is because I do take a lot of pictures. And that one is like kind of like a camera. So an actual
its main function to you as a camera is what you mean?
Well, I mean, it has functionality. They've added like buttons on the outside to basically turn it into an easy access camera. So yeah, like you can just pick it up and then push a button and you're taking pictures, you know, kind of thing. So
yeah, and they have like the half press to focus or whatever.
Yeah.
They have a lot of like really cool stuff that like people look for in high-end cameras now. So
right.
I heard someone say that like it was on the Cortex podcast too. It was like, if I were Canon's CEO right now, I'd be throwing up into a trash can.
Yeah. I mean, I still like my Canon that I have. I still like it for more pristine and professional photos. It has so much more depth of field that a phone just cannot get.
Yeah.
So it still has its purpose and function, but they're getting there. I mean, they're getting better and better on the phones. And like most people don't really get, like if it's just for posting online or whatever, like most people don't care. They don't even notice really that big of a difference. And actually, it's funny because I did this poll on my Instagram where I posted pictures from my iPhone and pictures from the Canon. And I was asking, like, which do you prefer, this photo or this photo? And everybody would say the iPhone photo. And I was thinking, oh, you know, like, I actually was thinking that people would think the Canon.
Yeah.
I just thought it would, I don't know, but I was wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I wonder how much of that is also just that people are really used to iPhone photos. Like that, I feel like so many people have an iPhone that they sort of gravitate towards that as just being like, this is what a photo should look like, you know?
Yeah, maybe it just, yeah, like the other one didn't look normal, so they're thinking, that one looks kind of weird.
Xiaomi has a variable aperture like lens in their camera in their smartphone, which is interesting.
Is that the Android?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think that Android has a superior like composition and photography as far as like image quality and everything.
You also just have so many options. There's like so many, like whatever you want to focus on and be like, I want the best of this thing. Mm-hmm. There's some company out there working on that version of a phone, you know?
Yeah, true.
But Apple goes for kind of the holistic, everything's very good approach. So it's not a bad thought.
No, it's been fine for me so far.
I really like the way my current phone takes pictures. I know that like part of it is like it does AI enhancement or whatever. I guess all phones at this point do a little, you know, AI magic on the photos.
Yeah.
But just like it I don't know, it takes like really juicy photos and I love that.
Oh, good.
I love that like super saturated look in photography. I mean, not to say I don't enjoy a good sepia photo or some like kind of like
artistic.
Yeah, cinema, like little film grain in there. I can get behind that, but yeah, I think it was Trey Radcliffe. I almost want to say, not the Harry Potter kid. He was like my favorite photographer for a really long time. Maybe still is. I just haven't looked at him in a while.
The guy you're talking about?
Yeah. He's a photographer, and he does like really overexposed. Not overexposed, but like really like saturated and they're always sort of like almost hazy in a kind of way that makes it like almost make like the everyday world look like a fantasy almost. Like it looks
that's
really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
I like that kind of photography. So
what was his first name?
Trey Radcliffe. Ratcliffe.
He's a rat.
Yeah, he's a rat. And then I think he does a little bit. He like puts a little bit of.
Oh, I see.
It's like high saturated, high HDR, and like a little bit of long exposure, so that like things get a little bit of a haze on them.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me. What is it giving? It's giving. Well, this one's kind of giving.
I think it also slaps some high contrast on there.
Fantasy, kind of. Like, I see what you mean by the fantasy aspect. I was going to say Lord of the Rings with this one, with this guy like green and it's like a very
winding river,
you know, New Zealand type landscape. Yeah, the winding river one.
Yeah, that was the first one that came up. I was like, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, but also like Lord of the Rings. As I was thinking that Lord of the Rings, I'm trying to remember it, but I feel like it's not quite as bright. I don't know. Could be wrong. But that's what the first thing I thought of when I saw that was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. A lot of my computer background.
I see the... yeah. I see the, like, fantasy aspect. And, like, what did you say?
Like, juicy. Yeah. I think a lot of purists won't like his work because it's very, like, heavily edited, but... Yeah,
no, I think it's less what I... Like, when you were saying photography and, like, it's less what I would consider... photography versus an art. Like, I think it's photography because it's a real place and he's taking a picture of a real location and then he's adding art to it, and that's its own thing, and it's still really good.
Yeah.
And I think But like I think it is like a style and like a more of like an art scene or whatever.
Yeah, true.
But yeah,
he's definitely adding like his own. Like if somebody else took the same photo from the same position, it would just not be the same at all because he like adds a lot to it. But
yeah, but it's still beautiful. Yeah, it is hard. Like even with me in photography, because I love photography and I've been through phases of editing and like adding and trying to find a style and all of these things, and it's difficult because it's hard to stick with one style unless I guess eventually you end up falling in love with one of them. But at the same time, it's like I would start to almost lose the, and I don't mean this in like what's like pretentious pure photography aspect, but like lose the truth of the photo, you know. And since I was doing more personalized photo, like personal stories and vacations and places I've been and things I want to remember, I was like, I started scaling back on the editing a lot, but I still have fun with it. I always had fun editing in Lightroom, and it was always such a fun time. Remember.
And
but I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's more on the art side. So, you know, you want to do more photography, like wrangling the camera and making it capture the photo you want versus like post-processing and really just like using it as a basis for further artistic expression.
Yeah, exactly. But that's fun too. Maybe I should do more of that. How did we get on the topic of photography? Oh, phones. Oh, digital. Oh, going back to the apocalypse.
Running back down the field.
Oxygen to our back to the roots of our beginnings of podcasting.
We got to have one of those AI minute note takers where they give you the breakdown of everything you've talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm yawning and I'm getting tired. And so...
Oh, no.
I'm dwindling down into my cozy night vibes where I'm going to snuggle up, get... What should I have? I should have...
S'mores.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any. So, maybe...
We don't have that.
I've been drinking so much caffeine lately. It's bad. Like, too much. And I have an appointment tomorrow. I'll cut this part out. But on the thing, just today I was reading it because like for preparation and whatever, and you should avoid caffeine at all costs. And I'm like,
okay.
I've been drinking so much, like more than normal, because I've been wanting all of the fall drinks and I've been wanting, like, you know,
course.
like, and so I'm just like, is that bad? Like, why? I don't know.
Didn't tell me.
They didn't tell me. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm like, oh, okay, good to know. I guess I'll be off caffeine until I'm done with it. But I didn't.
Yeah, doctors are like, you didn't go to med school? You don't know that?
They're like, oh, wait, it didn't work? Did you stay off caffeine? I'm like, no. I was like, well, that's why. No, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine, but... So yeah, I've got to think of another cozy drink that I can drink that doesn't have caffeine in it for the next month. Which is sad because it's like the worst timing.
True. How do you fix it now?
I don't know. I'll probably still drink caffeine, to be honest. What do I care?
Based.
Yeah.
So long, very well, pip, pip, cheerio, we'll be back soon.
Nice.
I think I did that perfectly. It felt right.
I love you, bye-bye.
What do I think?